Hello and welcome to Nuzlocke Vlogs. How this series works is that I play Pokemon games and talk about my life. And that no, that's actually bad that a mean looked because mean look is permanent, right? Because I was going to switch out and then use sleep powder. That's disappointing. So I guess I'm just gonna have to dust ball without. Oh, this is bad. And mean look lasts forever, doesn't it? It only took 2 dusk balls. So, how this series works is that I play Pokemon games and respond to comments on my main channel. And what's happening on my main channel is I finally got out the 3 hour Homestuck video that I've been working on for months. A 3 hour essay on why the Homestuck epilogues are actually good. And you know what? Yeah, they are actually good. It took me 3 hours to explain why I think that, but I will stand by my belief that the Homestuck epilogue's actually not that bad. Certainly not as bad as people think. They're very, very flawed stories, but I think there's a lot of really good things in them. I think Meat in general is very, very good. I love all the stuff with Dirk, and I think that Candy is very incredibly flawed. But John's arc in that story is some of the best writing in the entire Homestuck series. I adore John's arc in Candy. And so I made a 3 hour video essay on the Homestuck epilogues, and because last year's Homestuck essay I do yearly. Oh, come on, that's the worst thing I could have found here. A Ladyball, really? I was hoping it would be an Execute because Executor is actually decent, but fine, whatever. Yeah, use light screen. Um, Last year I announced this video. Once I did my second Homestuck essay, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do a video on the Homestuck epilogues. Never read them, and then I read them, and then I realized, oh, at the end of the video, I was like, oh god, I have to read the Homestuck epilogues now, and I mean, they were good. I enjoyed them. Just go watch that 3 hour video. Actually, technically, it's 2:55, which is annoying. I considered doing that. Call me magic got cut off. I considered extending it needlessly, but that seemed kind of dumb. Because I don't want to be that guy who's just arbitrarily making videos longer for the sake of making videos longer. And also, it already ends with a 5 minute after credits scene, ranting about something that I missed that wasn't really part of the video, but just watch it. I wonder if people are going to stop watching during the credits and miss my hot takes about certain characters. So anyway, the main thing I do in this series is that I respond to comments. Let's just move you to the trash pile while I'm at it. Sorry, commenter, but you got one of the trash Pokemon named after you because Ladybot is bad. Yeah, and you're going back to hell, Quilava, because you're dead. You've been dead all along. Actually, that reminds me, because I went very in depth on the Homestuck epilogues, but there's a lot of small lines of dialogue that I wanted to spend more time on, but it was already 3 hours long. One minor thing is that at the end of Meat, Dirk says, "I'm already gone." Wait, actually, I should have kept that. Oddish, so I can get a Electro or Voltorb. Dirk says, "I am already gone," which is a play on the common refrain during Act 5 2. He is already here. He is already gone now. That's just a minor thing they didn't talk about in the video. By the way, I named my Pokemon in these Nuzlocke videos after commenters, and I got a bunch of comments today, 20 something comments. Greenstone 8058 says, "I'm glad someone finally made this video. Gonna watch Lance murder this man by ordering his Dragonite to use Hyper Beam, but instead it's very clearly using a physical move. That's dumb." I've always been an epilogue defender. It actually might be my favorite part of Homestuck. If we're counting it as part of Homestuck, I wouldn't go that far, but I do very much like that. I agree with everything in this video, but I have a couple comments. I slightly disagree with the reading of Homestuck's ending. What I say in that video is what I've said in previous. How Homestuck ends is the time loop doesn't get complete. Like, that's how I've always interpreted John smashing the phone, that he's denying Calborn. He's denying going off to do this fight. And in the epilogues, we kind of see that that's true because it starts 2 years later and he hasn't done the fight. He didn't do the fight for 5 years at the end of Homestuck, and he didn't do it by the time the epilogue started until he was forced by Meat after Rose's speech made him realize, oh, things are gonna get weird. I think the original ending was always meant to be ambiguous on whether or not they actually escaped the story/time loop. I think John hitting his phone in the credits is supposed to mean both that he rejects the fight and that he chooses the fight depending on the reader's choice. The more Candy readers would want John to refuse, while the Meat readers would want John to fight. I think the route choice in the epilogues is basically just a more direct portrayal of that idea. And actually, yeah, I've always gone with the he doesn't fight, but admittedly, yeah, it is ambiguous, and that's actually a good way to put it. Also, I actually don't think all of the suffering in Candy is necessarily inconsistent with its portrayal of as a fan fiction parody. I interpreted Candy as not only representing fun, cute character development, but also a kind of sadism. It is true that readers gain a kind of meaningless joy out of seeing their favorite characters happy, but I think we also get a similar kind of joy from watching them suffer. Like how we feel compelled to watch car accidents. Candy isn't a cozy slice of life fanfic that got corrupted, it's a melodramatic darkfic. I see the Candy concept as more representing hedonistic pleasures without structure or meaning, which can come from both empathy and sadism. And yeah, I could see that. I think Candy is very messy. Say it in that video, because Dirk thinks that Meat is the sadistic, plot actually advancing one, you know? And I guess by contrast, Candy would be what Al likes, which is, nice and soft and everyone's happy. One more thing, this might sound a bit weird, but I think it's also worth mentioning how the epilogues are kind of a response to the 2016 election. And I said that I didn't know about that because they were bad. Like, if Jane is supposed to be a Trump analog, she is a terrible Trump analog because she doesn't act like Trump. Like, they're both fascist, but they're different. Side note. I've had multiple people call me out in comments that I say the word fascist wrong. It's an Italian word, right? I've heard both pronunciations. I think fascist is more common, but I don't think fascist is wrong. Like, whatever, who cares? I think the themes of people becoming something else, or people being impossible to truly know, is somewhat a direct response to that election. A lot of left-leaning people, especially in the younger generation who grew up in Obama's presidency, hey, that's me, saw it as this massive shocking event that revealed a hidden evil in many of the people they thought they knew. Considering how Homestuck's original run lines up almost perfectly with Obama's presidency, and how Homestuck was especially popular in with a young left-leaning community that grew up under Obama, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jane storyline is a response to that, and I guess I do think it's really messy. I don't know. Maybe that... I do like how you put it with, like people changing suddenly. Actually, I've kind of encountered that in my normal life, because I'm a small town. I like work as a reporter in my hometown, and oh wow, I didn't know all these people I knew growing up were super involved in politics, and the local Republican Party, and just believe just the most horrid things. Like, one thing, I was like talking to this old lady, sweet lady, went to church, I was friends with her granddaughter growing up, like nice old lady, never anything but friendly to me, and she just, in the middle of a conversation, says, my daughter has a lesbian friend, but I just can't get with that. I was raised to think it's wrong, and like, who the fuck just starts a conversation like that? But yeah, people change, and it's more like you realize who people really are. That they can be nice and friendly, but also kind of cruel and believe horrible things, you know? And just overall, really good comment. And the other one they've already named a Pokemon after is they call me Magic, who says also felt this way about the epilogues and was frustrated that people just weren't engaging with it in a way that actually took into account what the story was. And that was my big part. My big point in the video is love the epilogues, hate the epilogues, and treat them on the level that they want to be treated. Like, treat them, this is a commentary on fan fiction. Like, they open with a fucking archive of our own page. Like, John just says again and again, oh no, I'm trapped in a bad fanfic and everyone's acting out of character and this story is about my descent into depression. And people are like, what, wait, hold on, why are people out of character? Like, because it's a, whatever. They were painful to read, like, Dirk is my favorite character. It physically hurt to read Meat. Candy's the one that hurt me, because, oh boy, fucking, stop fucking children, Gamzee. But I understood what the story was trying to do, and it said it really well. Also, something I notice that I think is often missed is that Dirk isn't just Dirk, he's all the Dirks, including the Dirk that is an AR, the same AR that's part of Arceus, who is part of Lord English. Meat Dirk uses terms in language we've only seen Caliborn use, such as referring to Karkat as boy wife. I don't remember that line, but that is what Caliborn would say, and that is kind of what Dirk would say. Would Dirk call Karkat a boy wife? I don't know. I think Dirk was able to ascend the way he did and have such immense control of the narrative is a direct result of the fact the power of him is also a Lord of Time, and his more toxic elements were exacerbated by his connection to Caliborn and Bro. And the thing about that is, I do think there's Caliborn influence on Dirk. I don't know if it's through Arceus. I think it might be through Bro Strider, he was mind-controlled by years by Lord English into being an abusive asshole who put his brother through saw traps. And that's a big part of that we've been confirmed, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that the intention is that Bro Strider is part of Ultimate Dirk. And I do think that's what I see as influencing his abusive elements because, well, he's absorbed the version of Dirk who was abusive. I don't know if Lil Hal is part of him. I definitely don't think that Lord English is part of Ultimate Dirk's psyche, although he's compared to Lord English, but I think that's just because they're both assholes who Al hates. There's a comic below that by Greenstone, who says, also to add to this, Dirk is also Dog Scratch, which makes his relationship with Rose more interesting. Yeah, I could see. Like, Dog Scratch, like, how it's portrayed is, that Dog Scratch is, Lil Hal being in control, and, Lord English is Caliborn being in control, and Lil Cal, I guess, is Gamzee in control. And Equius doesn't get to be in control. I want to see the Equius version of that fusion being in control. It's like have you ever seen Bobo? Like, it's an anime I watched with a kid that is just this over-the-top shonen parody. And it's just ridiculous. But anyway, it has the two main characters fuse, like in Dragon Ball. But if it's character A and character B fusing, it's one guy. But if it's character B and character A fusing, it's a different guy, which admittedly they kind of do in Dragon Ball. Yeah, the epilogues are a trip. And, it's Homestuck day today. Happy 413. 15 years of Homestuck. I walked past a solid gold nugget earlier. Yay, that Homestuck is over. No, I don't want the coughing. I already killed a coughing. Hold one sec. Had to blow my nose, so I muted myself. So today's update is like, it's just, the Homestuck 2 is still continuing to be Homestuck 2, and that it's always on the verge of something happening. Minor thing, I haven't seen anyone talk about. They offhandedly mention in today's update that Rose X Terezi? Question mark? And also the Dirt. Okay, Rose X Terezi, yay. New design for Rose, which is fine. They switched the sprites over, which is cool. But like the thing about that we're finally getting Guardian sprites for Dirk, Rose, and Terezi is that by the end of Homestuck, they very, very, very rarely use the actual sprites. Like they switched over to doing hero mode constantly, which admittedly is better looking. I never was a. I mean, it's stylized, but I was never a big fan of the chibi sprites. So, and also that inadvertently gave a kind of like it made as the characters get older. The comics started more and more using the art style where they look older, which that fit. I just walked through a minefield and I caught a Pokemon who I am naming after literally GLaDOS, who says, honestly, Yiffy is the only part of the epilogue / beyond canon they actually care about, and she might be enough to make me actually read beyond canon. And I make a Simpsons reference. And like, that's a lot of Homestuck fans. Like, there's a classic joke that's been going around for years. Required reading material for Homestuck fans. Number 1, Homestuck. Like a lot of that comics fans has always been people who haven't read the comic and are into it through the flashes and just fan art on Tumblr. And okay, like I don't like if I see a ton of fan art of something that I really like, that I might watch it, but that doesn't, I don't think, make me a fan, And you know what? GLaDOS, who hasn't read Homestuck Beyond Canon, but really, really likes one character from it, I have elected to make you the next member of our team. I don't think I have a Voltorb photo downloaded, and I don't want to waste like 3 minutes getting that, so you're not going on the bottom yet. But there, we have a Voltorb as the last member of our party. Or the 5th member of our party. We need to find a 6th. I had a Kadabra last time, but it died. I've had a lot of Pokemon dying in recent parts. And I'm super over-leveled, but I won't be over-leveled by the time I make it to the Elite Four, because this game's leveling is just so fucked. Like, you know what I noticed today as I was double-checking the gym leaders? Price is weaker than Jasmine. His strongest is 54. Her strongest is 34 and 35. So, like, if you get your Pokemon up to the level of the 6th gym leader, then you are over-leveled for the 7th, which ideally you're supposed to be taking out after you've gone through a few more routes. This game, it's just really messy leveling. And I mean, I guess it's because you can take some of the gyms in different orders, and I like that. I like that freedom. Scarlet and Violet finally committed to that, being able to do the gyms in any order, but they did it in the worst way, where there's no level scaling, so if you go to the wrong town, you just get obliterated. Like, one of the last gyms is right next to the starting town, so there's a very clear order. You're supposed to go through the game, but it's open. It was weird. Although I guess that can be fun. That if you choose to do things in the wrong order, you just get obliterated. I enjoyed Scarlet Violet, but I've never felt a desire to go back to it. It's the Pokemon game I've played the least. I only played through it the one time. Never had any interest in the DLC. It was a lot of good ideas, but as a slow start, which I don't want to sit through again. And a lot of performance issues, although I guess I can deal with that. But no, it was fun. It was okay. I'm not a big fan. I'm kind of burnt out on open world, to be honest. I think people are like, we need an open world Pokemon game. Well, we finally got them like trying that for a couple years now, and it's kind of an like I miss intricately like purposefully designed routes that are full of secrets than compared to these big open like fields full of nothing, you know? But anyway, what's going on? I binge watched all of season 2 of Invincible, and goddamn, that show is just it's just an incredible show. I I have nothing but praise for it. It was great. Uh, it's too good for me to have anything meaningful to say about it. Is the problem? It was just yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Okay. Like, well, what'd you? Oh, yeah, the acting was good. And the animation, it was good. Really liked the writing. Uh, Mark Grayson is a really well developed character. His fears of becoming his father, that ending, which I'm not going to spoil. The Guardians and Debbie had great supporting character arcs. J.K. Simmons as Omni Man was excellent as always. I'm excited for the plot going forward. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Gonna make a 3-hour video essay on that series, though. Could make one on the Homestuck epilogues, because they're kind of bad, but they're kind of good. And that's, that's the perfect niche to just want to talk about forever. You know? Going through the Team Rocket HQ, not to be confused with the Team Rocket hideout. Oh, right. There's this mess where you have to go get the password. I can never remember this place's layout, but it's not complicated enough that, like, you can figure it out by just wandering. So, that's what's going on. Actually, I had a really busy week at work because there's this whole mess of one of the schools that my local newspaper that I work for covers. It's kind of imploding, that there's just so many people quitting because they all just fucking hate the school board, and it's just a whole mess. And I mean, that's not really interesting for this video, but it was, well, long days. I worked 2 10-hour days this week, and an 8-hour day, and 2 6-hour days, and I had to work on. I work hard sometimes, and sometimes I don't work hard, which is part of the nice thing about my job is sometimes I have time that I'm not working hard that week and can just dedicate making a 6-hour video essay. So what's coming up soon on this channel? Well, I want to get Day of Apotheosis done. It's a RPG that I've been close to having done for a long time. I keep getting distracted and having to, do 2 months making a Homestuck video, and I need to get it done. I'm close to the finish line. I'm hoping to have all of the content in by mid-May, and then I don't know how long playtesting will take and bug fixing will take before I think it's good enough to release, but I just want to get it done because it's a good game, and it's taken me 2 goddamn years. No, oh wait, you're super under level because this game's level curve is a joke. Okay. And also, more of my D&D stories. The Empire of Steel, get the second one coming out. I finished writing the third one today. Did I mention that I started writing, I've got too many writing projects going on. I started writing a Dragon Ball fan fiction. Yay, that I've had the idea of for years. Finally sat down and started writing, calling it Red Ribbon, and it's just like a sympathetic portrayal of Dr. Gero, who it's kind of bouncing back between, okay, this guy is just motivated fully by revenge and doesn't care who he hurts, and also what this guy believes is perfectly reasonable. Goku is a menace. Because, just imagine you live in a real world. There aren't people with superpowers. And then this fucking 14-year-old boy, or 13, however old Goku is, during the Red Ribbon Saga, he just breaks in and kills dozens of people with his bare hands. This child, he can shrug off bullets. He punches apart tanks. He tears through your base like a menace. Actually, no, Jevo gets killed by an enemy soldier, but because Goku destroyed Red Ribbon, Dr. Giro thinks that means his death was meaningless, and that's why he hates Goku. But like, your son is dead, and this is the monster. Like, and he blows up the fucking moon. Like, imagine how terrifying that is. Imagine how many people die when Master Roshi and later Piccolo blow up the moon. It's just, you would be scared, and you would start building weapons. Be like, we need to stop this man at all costs. We need to be able to kill him because he can kill all of us. So our precaution is we are building these androids, and it's horrifying, but it is necessary, and that's how I'm portraying Dr. Giro in this fanfic I'm writing. And I'm lost, and next time I will start with being not lost, I think, is what I'm going to do, because I am just going around in circles here. Like, I'm back at the start. Where the fuck do I go? Hold on. I'm gonna try this again next week.